So, I feel like I'm gonna either upset people or I'm going to make people happy. I'm not sure how things are gonna go. But, today's game is gonna be a game for Sega Genesis. And it's Star Trek The Next Generation. See that? That's what the game looks like. And you can see that it looks just like it has all the characters from the show. Which is neat. It fell. So yeah, we're gonna talk about, and before I get into it, I gotta say the graphics for this game, especially for the Genesis, actually look really good. The music that's used for this game is rather nice. Before you get into, basically, when you start the game, it gives you little details, like say, hey, this is Captain Picard, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, I know you're probably wanting to know the story, but yeah, play the game for that. And then basically, yeah, the first episode is you have to save, basically, another fellow from another planet. I mean, like, basically, there was, I'm gonna be honest, there was so much credit, you know, basically, there was so much dialogue of, like, basically, I would go like that, okay, so that's what I did. And, yeah. Wait, now that we discussed that, we're gonna talk, and yeah, basically, after that, you basically go to save him. So now let's go into talking about the gameplay. So in Star Trek The Next Generation for Sega Genesis, one thing that you do is, before you go on missions and all that, sometimes you will say, okay, we're going to this planet, and all that. But one thing that got me confused, though, at first was, like, say, I'm gonna be honest, I had to use a walkthrough guide. And I hate to do that when it comes to games. Especially for this, because sometimes, you know, with how we do this show, you know, we have to have these games, like, you know, relatively quick. So, yeah, there's that. And I just felt like, say, I officially felt like, okay, fine, I guess I'll use a walkthrough guide. And I did. And it kind of helps, but at the same time, people did, like, say, okay, choose Worf or Data. And I would do that, and sometimes it would just, and it kind of helped, but, because, well, if you use two characters, you're not going to take as much damage when you get on certain planets, when you're taking fire by enemies. So, yeah. But yeah, when you do that, basically sometimes will try to figure out, okay, how do I get too closer to the planet? You do that by just either, like, basically going to that planet again by, you know, clicking on that specific planet you're going to again, and then basically get you closer to it, so that way you can use a transporter to get onto the planet. And like I said, use two characters, cause that way you don't have to take much damage. And one thing that got me confused, though, is when I was doing it, trying to select the phaser, which basically you can use, and it will basically be a beam that goes like, say, so basically just basically position your character and shoot in multiple areas, and eventually you'll get the bad guy. And yeah, so that's one good thing. Goes the dryer. Eventually you'll get the bad guy. I gotta say, one of the issues I kind of had was at times, like, you know, I would try to get to a planet, and then suddenly a Romulan, a warbird would basically just appear. Like, you know, a wild Romulan ship would just go, like, say, like, you know, you're zooming past, and then suddenly, like, and then the Romulan space bird would be like appearing out of nowhere, like this, and then basically one thing you can do, instead of fighting, you can talk to them, and that actually kind of works. But then sometimes they'll say like, nope. They basically just like say, I am being a war monster. I need to attack. I mean, please don't say anything. Yeah, he doesn't know he's some of his trick. I don't really know. I'm just starting getting into it. Yeah, if you want to watch, on my channel I have a show called Star Trek for Noobs. So yeah, you can tell how little I know about Trek. And yeah, so one thing that was kind of hard when it comes to the Robin Birds. My God, I thought I would go insane, and every time I thought I would try to beat them, I would die. Mostly just because, like, say, they will shoot you, and then basically you have no way to fight back. It's just, it feels like they are, it just feels like it's cheap, that moment when you're trying to shoot back at them. And, so, is this game worth checking out? I'd say so if you are Trekkie. And if you're slowly getting into Trek, I'd say if you have seen The Next Generation, or at least if you have a vague idea of who these characters are, then I'd say you're good. And especially if you're looking forward to Sega Genesis game, then yeah, I'd say give it a try. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you later.